if there's a chance to get one player, like I said before, the players from South Africa when they were in Germany and also especially in Bielefeld, I think they felt well and they fit. And yeah, like you said before, players like Zuma, they were good players for Arminia Bielefeld, and they really helped the team. And if it's able to get such players, yeah, they are welcome.
Tell us about your experience and your time at Arminia.
I think it's going to be clear if I start by telling you where I came from. I came from in the middle of nowhere in KZN. Between the cities, I was far from the cities, no football pitches. So everything that I knew going to Germany was something that my community taught me, from a very bad pitch with no grass. So, but that's basically most of the players, we come from poor backgrounds. A week or 2 weeks before I joined Bielefeld, I had an opportunity of talking to one of my friends in Germany, the guy who was playing there, and he told me that to play in the Bundesliga was going to be very difficult because of the training and the pace of the game, how the game is played. And I told him that that's the reason I've chose to sign for Bielefeld, because I need that challenge. I've done everything for my club in Copenhagen, in Denmark. So when I talked to Thomas von Hansen, it made sense. It was a new challenge for me.
What can you say to your fans out there in Bielefeld?
But I really miss the fans and the guys at the offices as well. I've made a lot of friends when I was there, and one thing I proud myself in, every time when I was playing all over the world, I always play with my heart. So I connected very well with the fans, and I always proud myself on that. And I know I'm very close to the Blues.
So you were one of the first to or one of the stars from Arminia to make South Africans know that there's a club like that, and we've gotten a lot of messages from people saying that they got to know about the club because Zuma was playing for the club. Do you still get asked by?
I don't agree with you on that one. I think Daryl Buckley put us on the map. Buckley puts us on the map because the story will be a season before I joined Bielefeld, Daryl was scoring crazy goals for Arminia Bielefeld, amazing goals. And he was the one who spoke to the coach when he knew that he was going to be making his move to Dortmund. He spoke to Thomas that there is a guy that I'm playing with in the national team, and he's really good and amazing, and I think he will cover my position here.
How was the change for you in terms of the culture and the food and everything else?
Well, the culture and the food was not a problem. I was always focusing on my game, trying to improve. So mostly it was because for Copenhagen, we always play for the championship. So we've planned how many points we're going to get from these amounts of games. In Bielefeld, it was all about surviving. So we had to make sure that we come behind that city and we protect it with our hearts. And the group of players we had at the time, there was older guys than us, experienced, the guys who've been with the team for some time now, guys like Walter. And it was just a good number of old players, to bring us in. And it was just a good fusion of, talent and just pure hard work. Everyone, we understood that we needed to work very hard to be able to get points from that league.
What was it like for you players, coming from South Africa and having a fellow South African at the club? How did it feel like?
Well, you can't describe that. As I've said, that I come from a very poor background in the middle of nowhere in KZN. So to end up in the Bundesliga in Germany was a dream come true for me, because the person that made me play football, the person that I watched in Italy 90, Lothar Matthäus, comes from Germany. So Germany has been very close, because I've been following them. we were lucky that we were able to watch Bundesliga growing up here in South Africa. But I was very happy, man. I was on top of the world because, as I've said, coming from where I'm from, I never thought that I was going to go that far. I'm not a product of an academy or a football school. Everything I knew, I taught myself, and I just learned from my friends. My community helped me, buying me boots, So yeah, to be able to go this far with so much, resources was amazing for me.
What do the youngsters in South Africa need to do to be able to aspire to play in the Bundesliga and maybe even play for Arminia like you did? Because you said you came from a background where you had no academic training, you had nothing. Now some of these kids, they have much better possibilities, but the question is, how can they be ready? Given your experience there, what can you tell them?
Well, Samir has raised a very important point of development. I think South Africa needs development structures first. That's where we really struggle. We need to have soccer fields around our townships because that's where football is. And not just soccer fields, we need FIFA approved. So we need to raise these guys from very early age so we can prepare them for places like Germany, Bundesliga, Italy, England, because it's not fair to grow up playing in the gravel, and then when you are 22, you get to compete with guys who've been in 5-star or I will say football schools around the world. For these boys, we need to give them that opportunity. So let's build these structures. Let's build these football pitches around our townships, and we need to start them. We need to start with them very young. It's very important. That's what is my legacy. My legacy is about that.
Any coaching initiatives, any technical support initiatives, any talent identification and develop initiatives that can take place certainly provide an enormous pathway to cooperation and success, and that leads to massive benefit, I think, for both parties involved. So I look forward to having Arminia Bielefeld in South Africa in one day.
This evening now is only the start. The start with, and I think and I hope a good and a long relationship with each other, and yeah, we will see what the future brings. And like you said, we have heard also from some teams they made the preseason, like you said before, and all the things they sound very interesting. And when we were sitting together and discussed in our club what could be a good structure and all the things we said and we were hoping that could be realized in the future is like other things you said before, and so this makes me a really good feeling.
How does it feel to have Zuma as one of the legends from your club?
Yeah, of course, and I also have seen him playing live. I was working for another club in Germany, but yeah, like I said before, he was a really good player, and yeah, if it's able to get him back and maybe make him some years younger, I'm for sure that he will actually help us at that time also to stay. And like he said, this is so important. Also now when I'm looking out of the window here, I'm seeing the young players from our club. They have training, but the most important thing, and this is also what we want to do together to develop. But what is very important, like you said, the heart. Also our players now, you need the heart. If you don't have the heart, there's no chance to get a big player. And yeah, he had a big heart, and I hope that when we will come to South Africa and to work together and develop, and yeah, we will see some more talents in the future. And
what my recommendation for you would be, or there would be two recommendations, if you allow me. The first one would be that we do something together with the ambassador, Dr. Schäfer. The relationship between the embassy and our chamber is excellent, and we work very closely together. That we set up something where you meet all relevant stakeholders. The second thing is you need to get in touch with the companies, not only the German companies, but also South African companies, because you will feel that there is a natural connection, a natural, I would almost say, a natural willingness to work together.
Looking at what Arminia brings to South Africa, what would you like to see them do in some of the communities that you've worked with before, to see how we can connect the club back to the roots that players like Zuma and the rest of them came from, even Delroy and all the players who have gone through.
Look, I worked with an organization called Stars in the Eyes, and they basically took somebody in the community that was already working with kids and educated them with life skills and football to make sure that the kids are not running around, etc., that the kids are actually doing some life skills and some football training. And I know one of the boys long ago joined AmaZulu, but he didn't play there for long. He came from the Stellenbosch community, which is also a farming community. So the biggest part is first the education of the coach, to make sure that the youngster out there gets quality football coaching, because we know at school level it's the teacher that coaches that might not have the qualifications, and that is the age where they need to get everything right in terms of technicality. Because I mean, you look at Sibusiso Zuma, not because he's now on the panel, but he was one of the guys that that had good first touches, etc., and that sets you apart from everyone else. And if you don't work on the development, as he was saying, then you're always busy trying to catch up. So educating coaches, coming to the community and giving kids hope, giving kids an opportunity, because we have a lot of gems in our country, but they are not afforded, sometimes don't get the opportunity. And sometimes clubs come out here and they see a gem, and the next minute nobody knew of the youngster, but the youngster's not playing abroad. And that is the little gems that's hidden, that doesn't get the opportunity. So if they are able to come out, to make sure that they make a connection with the community, make sure that, first of all, coaches and give young kids an opportunity. That's the biggest thing, because there are so many kids that we lose along the way because we miss them when we don't see them. And opportunities like this, clubs have come to the country and kids have flocked to coaching clinics. And that is where you see the kids with the talent. And hopefully through this program, a lot of kids can get an opportunity.
Hallo, schönen guten Abend alle. Willkommen. You've got Sibusiso Zuma. You've got Amin, you've got Emeka, I've got Desiree Banyana, head coach. Des, let's start with the roles, obviously. How are you doing? Good evening. We've got a big match, Arminia Bielefeld up against Freiburg. We've got the Arminia Bielefeld CEO here. If you want to send him a message to send to the players, it's very important that they get 3 points because they are battling relegation. If there's anything you want to say to the CEO now, that he should be saying to the players, what message would you tell him?
Look, we all know what happens when you go down one division. We all know what happens. Your salary changes, your circumstances changes, your opportunities changes, and coaches might release you because they can't keep you. So you're not just playing to stay in the Bundesliga, but you're also playing for your future. And maybe that's not a coaching thing, but that's an emotional thing. And players, I think, realize that there's more at stake than just a game. There's more at stake than just getting the 3 points. Their livelihoods are at stake. And maybe that is what should be told to them.
Samir, you got the message very clearly that their jobs are at stake. You know very well how it was in the third Bundesliga. You have to sort of remind them, maybe not, about those memories being down there. As a legend of this club, as a big celebrated player in Bielefeld, specifically Arminia Bielefeld, obviously. If you had a moment, just imagine yourself in that changing room. and the head coach gives you 1 minute to speak to the players, what would you say to them?
Earlier, Sami raised a very important point that mostly why Bielefeld is struggling, and Zuma will know, it's because of the fans. The fans, man, they take a huge number of percentage from the energy of the players when they come out from the tunnel. That's what happens in the Shoko Arena. The atmosphere in there is truly amazing. So by the time when you come out, you know what to do. And you know you need to protect your livelihood and everything. And the Blues are behind you, just on the other pole, where our huge support fan base is at. But yeah, man, it's really up to playing with your heart, understanding what's at stake for the city as well. Yeah, we did it, man. Week in, week out, these boys can do it as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, tomorrow morning I will go directly into the dressing room and tell the players what you said. And I really hope that it will help us on Friday evening, that we get the 3 points. And yeah, thank you very much. I think it was a good start, maybe for a long relationship, and that we will make good things together. Thank you very much.